For centuries, legends warned that when this monster rises, a disaster is coming. But what happens when the abyss actually starts emptying its darkest secrets right onto our beaches? Well, let's dive into this explainer and find out.
Because today, it's not just a legend anymore. Back in 2023, a Japanese fisherman pulled up his net expecting a normal haul, right? Instead, he found a 6-meter, rubbery white creature just staring back at him. It was a deep-sea oarfish. Now, these bizarre, alien-like things normally live an entire kilometer down in the crushing dark. Seeing one at the surface, that was supposed to be a terrifying omen that an earthquake was imminent. So he threw it back, totally terrified. But the sea wasn't done sending messages.
These so-called messengers of doom, which are usually hidden a kilometer down, are suddenly appearing on shores everywhere from California to Mexico. Get this, in 2023, another fisherman in Japan pulled up a staggering 50 oarfish in a single catch. 50. Then by 2024, they started washing up in California, spotted 3 separate times. And just recently, in February 2025, a live one was seen swimming right in the shallows of Mexico. But, it isn't just the oarfish that are behaving strangely. To really grasp what's happening here, we need to take a quick step back to the 1940s. During World War II, naval sonar operators were constantly monitoring the oceans for enemy subs. But in the dead of night, they saw something that absolutely terrified them. It looked like the entire seafloor was suddenly rising toward the surface. Obviously, it wasn't the ground. It was undeniable proof that something massive is moving out there in the dark.
Section 1. Aliens of the Deep, Exploring the Unmapped Ocean.
Think about this for a second. Humanity has mapped a mere 5% of our oceans. We literally have better maps of the surface of Mars than we do of our own seafloor. When you drop below the surface, the water just rapidly absorbs all the sunlight. Hit 100 meters down and you're at a bleak 1% of light. By the time you reach 1,000 meters, entering what's called the midnight zone, there is absolute 0% sunlight. It's a freezing, pitch-black habitat. And the creatures that call it home, well, they've evolved to look like absolutely nothing else on Earth.
Like I said, it's not just the oarfish. We're talking terrifying sea devils with actual glowing torches attached to their heads to lure prey, and giant phantom jellyfish with 10-meter tentacles, and they're being found in shallow waters where they absolutely do not belong. We're also seeing smooth lumpfish that honestly look like floating alien brains, and barrel-eye fish that navigate using transparent dome heads with rotating green eyes inside. I mean, for thousands of years, these bizarre animals stayed perfectly hidden in the deep, until now. So why are they suddenly breaking all the rules of their ecosystem? Well, it all comes back to the DO vertical migration, or DVM. And actually, this is the answer to that terrifying false seafloor from World War II. DVM is literally the largest daily migration on Earth. Every single night, billions of animals commute up a hidden underwater highway to the surface. Why? Simple. To eat without being eaten. They swim up into the dark surface waters to feed on microscopic plants, and then, right before the sun comes up, they retreat back down into the pitch-black depths to hide from predators. It's a perfect cycle, and it has functioned seamlessly for centuries.
Section 2. A Suffocating Home, the Great Midnight Migration. Here is where the truth becomes way more terrifying than any myth. Our oceans are heating up at an unprecedented rate, absorbing a staggering 90% of the heat trapped by global warming. Now, the temperatures deep down, those were incredibly stable for hundreds of thousands of years. But today, that delicate balance is being completely and utterly destroyed.
This warming creates an impassable physical barrier. It's called the oxygen divide. See, warm surface water is lighter, right? So it stays stubbornly at the top. Meanwhile, the freezing, dense water remains trapped way down at the bottom. Because these two distinct layers can no longer mix easily, all that vital oxygen held up at the surface simply cannot reach the depths. So, what's the result? The deep sea is quite literally running out of oxygen.
Which brings us to the harsh reality. These creatures aren't coming up to attack us. They are gasping for air. They are fleeing a suffocating home in a desperate, permanent migration to the surface just to survive. This isn't their usual nightly commute anymore. They are leaving the abyss for good. But here is the truly heartbreaking tragedy of it all. By swimming up into the brightly lit sunlight zone permanently, they are entering an alien world where they have zero evolved defenses against the predators waiting for them. Think about it. They were built for complete, utter darkness. Up in the blinding light of day, they're just sitting ducks. They are essentially trapped,
forced to choose between suffocating in the deep or being eaten in the shallows by sharks, whales, and dolphins.
Section 3. The final threat. Protecting the deep.
Now, as if climate change wasn't enough, there's a brand new, human-made threat preparing to invade the depths. Corporations are actively pushing to send massive machines thousands of meters down to mine for gold and silver, right next to vital hydrothermal vents. Critics argue pretty heavily that politicians, specifically pointing to figures like Donald Trump and Narendra Modi, are prioritizing corporate interests over biodiversity, effectively enabling the destruction of this fragile ecosystem. On the flip side, though, the global pushback is massive. We've got 32 countries openly opposing the practice, and Greenpeace petitions have gathered millions of signatures globally to stop deep-sea mining before it even starts.
What we are witnessing right now is the extinction of a world we haven't even fully mapped yet. And make no mistake, these deep-sea guardians matter. They store immense quantities of global carbon, and the phytoplankton they interact with act like oceanic trees, absorbing CO2. This whole hidden ecosystem is fundamentally essential to our survival. If these deep-sea guardians vanish, we lose one of the planet's most vital tools for regulating the very air we breathe.
Which leaves us with one incredibly chilling thought. What happens to the air we breathe when the guardians of the deep vanish forever? Follow for more hidden mysteries of the deep, and drop a like if you believe the ocean absolutely must be protected.